Peace and blessings. Welcome to my happy place, Diva G's Reborns. I am Regina, and we are here continuing with our series on Reborning Maggie. She is coming along quite nicely. Here she is. Isn't she adorable? Look at those lips. Oh, she's just so cute. She is adorable. We will continue reborning our cute little baby Maggie. Um, what I would like to do is I would like to go over her skin tone, including her soles of her feet and her hands, with our color. I'm debating on nutmeg because I do want to deepen up the soles because I think that I want them to be a little bit deeper to complement the burnt umber. So I think what I will do is I think the nutmeg is going to be a little bit too light. Well, I won't say too light, but I will say that I would like to use the um, medium brown to get that a little bit more color to her soles and her palms. Now, of course, it's not going to be this dark on her. It will look lighter than that. But I do want to, excuse me, I do want to just kind of go over and get that bit of a little bit more color because I don't want it to be such a stark contrast where it looks as though, even though we've painted, in here, we don't want it to have a very sharp contrast where it almost looks as though it has not been painted. So, so I want to make sure stirring up our paint here. I'm going to go, excuse me, I'm going to go over the entire kit. And I'm not so much as concerning myself with the nail beds, if I, cover them or not. Um, I'm going to just take a little bit and see. Yeah. Yeah, I think that color is going to be quite nice. I think that's going to deepen her up, deepen nicely. Now, and you may say, well, if only thing I want to do is deepen the soles and the palms, why am I going over the entire kit? I want it to be a seamless blend. And if I only do the palms and the soles of the feet, the blend may not be as seamless as what I would like. So since I want to have what I consider a seamless blend, that's why I'm going over the entire kit. Because what will happen is, as you'll see, that it's not going to make it very dark. It's just going to add a little bit of depth to the color, a bit more richness to the color, and I think that will continue to add to the realism. Just making sure there's no pooling. So I'm not concerning myself at this point with feathering. I'm just, covering the kit with this color here, with this medium brown, so that the palms and soles will have a little bit of a deeper color. You know, I'm not trying to really deepen the skin tone per se because we aren't looking so much toward that at this point. I'm looking more so to um, getting the palms and the soles a little bit deeper in color. And there are a number of ways to do that. When you are reborning the kit and you're putting on your initial base layers, um, you can then begin to add more layers to add to the color of the soles and the palms if that's what you desire. You know, sometimes when we're making melanated babies, you know, the skin tone that we may initially have in mind may or may not be what the kit is telling us it wants to be. So, yeah. And this is, you know, now can you just kind of go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to make this kit this particular color and so on and so forth? Most definitely you can, because I have done that. I did that with baby Ginger, who has that beautiful, beautiful deep chocolate complexion. And I started out knowing full well that that was the complexion that I wanted her to be. And baby Alyssa, with albinism, I started her kit knowing full well that I wanted her to have albinism. So yes, you definitely can. Sometimes what I do really truly is the majority of the time I kind of let the kit kind of tell me where it wants to go. And, you know, that's what I will, you know, sometimes do it that way. Um, you know, so yeah, so I'm going really everywhere, like I said, on the kit, the palms, all around the fingers. I'm not concerning myself with trying to fade the color blend the way I normally do, um, because I will be doing that when I go in with the other layers of color. So I will be doing that. Right now I'm just wanting to deepen up the soles and the palms a little bit. That's what I want to do. And I'm not worrying myself about the nail beds because I will be taking care of the nail beds a little bit later. So I'm just trying to, and I'm doing the hands and the palm, the front and the back of the hands and the palms, kind of like as a separate unit. And I'll be pouncing, I'm pouncing it off, and then I will go ahead and with my mop brush to get off any other wet spots that are there. And you can see that I'm pouncing down on my paper towel to get off any excess paint that is on the sponge or my cosmetic wedge, because if there's excess paint, the only thing that you'll be doing is moving around wet paint, and you'll end up removing what you've already maybe put on, or you're going to be putting more on someplace that you don't want more to be, you know, it won't be even. So that's the reason of the pouncing and tapping, you know, going on your paper towel. So our dear baby Maggie is coming along, and she will be actually finished pretty soon because we're doing her skin layers, her skin tone layers, and there's not much left, for her. I will be doing, of course, obviously, the detailing on her face, which is one of the parts that excites me so much working on a doll, is those details on the face. Um, and of course, we have the rest of the details that we need to do on her hands and, on her feet, like that. But what I mean is that she's almost done. She's closer, to being finished because we're laying down all of her flesh layers, and yeah, she's coming along quite nicely. I'm pleased with her. Um, I'm definitely pleased with her. I'm loving the way her veins are showing through her skin. I don't think that it's excessive. I think that they look, realistic. Um, and she's going to get another layer of the burnt umber. And yeah, I think she's coming along quite nicely. Tell me, what do you think in the comments? Have you painted a Maggie, or do you have a Maggie or Maddox? Bountiful Baby has such beautiful kits, especially their realborns are adorable, and even our artist kits are quite nice, and they are like the most affordable doll one-stop and shop place that you can go. They are affordable and they do have quality. And Maggie is from Bountiful Baby, and she is a lovely, lovely kit. She has a brother, Maddox, and they have like the same features. They have the exact same limbs, um, but their belly, their torso is anatomically correct. So she, of course, has the female, and he has the male, and yeah. So they are Bountiful Baby, and yeah, and they keep having these sales. They have sales like every day, something, and it's good if you can to put some money off to the side for kits and different specials that they may have, because they have a lot of different specials, a lot of sales. you know um you can get basically everything that you need, a lot of what you need there, I should say. Not, I won't say everything, because some other places you may be able to get something at a maybe a more affordable price, but they do, if you watch them and you watch their prices, you can figure out where to really go for certain things. I like getting my large magnets that I put in the head for the pacifiers. I like getting it from them when they're on sale. And they recently did have a sale for that. And, just kind of watching when they have sales on different things, you can really, and you can stock up. I stocked up on some of the Aleen's paper glaze because they were having a 40% sale. And I stocked up on some of that because the Aleen's paper glaze is what oftentimes we use on a small amount on the lips and on the nail tips, and it is wonderful, wonderful on the rims of the doll. to help them to be able to turn, you know, very, very easily. Um, Karen of Making Reborn Dolls with Karen, she actually made mention of that, and that really just kind of like changed the game because it makes the limbs and the head or the neck turn really, really easily, and it's just pennies to use it, you know. You can, you know, you're using a liberal amount, but it's actually pennies. And you know, doing that, you don't have to use plugs and rings. Now, if you like using plugs and rings, of course, use them. But this is just another way. You know, it's nice to know other ways, you know, have multiple ways that you can do something. So yeah, so the Aleen's paper glaze, and you can get it not just off of Bountiful Baby, but you can get it Amazon and you know, any pretty much any craft shop. My first Aleen's paper glaze, I believe I did get it from I got it from Amazon because I didn't want to wait for it to come, and I wanted to get it like really, really quick because I had been using the clear nail polish on the rims, and that works nicely. I mean, it works. But what I found was that um the Aleen's paper glaze really makes the limbs, you know, makes that turn really, really nicely, really, really nice. And you just have to allow it to dry. I like to let it dry for like 24 hours, you know, or longer because you don't want it to stick to the body because that won't be any fun. All right. But you know, the rims, once you put that Aleen's paper glaze on there, it really does wonders. And it's, you know, you just need a small amount, really. You put it on liberally, but even though you're putting it on liberally, it's really a small amount. And it's pennies because when you think about the size of the bottle, even if you were to get the bottle at the full price, which is like $7 and something, right? Even if you did pay the full price, $7 bottle. The bottle is quite large. You only use a small amount on the nails, the lips, and on the rims. So you can do, who knows, maybe 30, $40 with that one bottle, and it's only $7, right? As opposed to if you get the plugs and the rings, and they're difficult to put on, and they make the baby feel kind of bulky. Um, those cost maybe per doll um $5, $6 or more, and they do make the doll feel a little bit bulky. So that's, you know, a price that, you know, if you like the plugs and the rings, of course you can use them because the doll sites do sell them, you know. And Bountiful Baby, when they have, sometimes they have a kit bundle, and in the kit bundle, they'll have the kit, the body, and they'll give you a premium body, which is great. And they will also give you plugs and rings. And if it's an open eye doll, they'll give you eyes. I don't know what color eyes, you know, they give. I mean, maybe they give what they have available or, you know, whatever. I don't know if they, you know, I don't know. Um, I have bought the kit bundle before, but I bought it for a sleeping baby. So I can't say, you know, if you get it with you know, awake baby, what eyes they give. Um, but even that their kit bundle is very, very good. Now I love also really I do love Trueborn. Now I've gotten kits from Trueborn, And Trueborn, they have beautiful kits by well-known artists as well as lesser-known artists. They have them at a very affordable price, and many of their kits come with the body, which is like really, really great that they come with the body because that's a savings right there for you. And their kits are very nice, very, very nice. And they have yeah, they have a lot of kits. I have my Onyx is from Trueborn, and they come with certificates of authenticity. They come with the beautiful, lovely, lovely bodies, similar to the ones at Bountiful Baby. They're premium bodies. They have the ruching in the chest and the buttock area. Trueborns, their bodies have that ruching, and they also have a bit of elastic where that ruching is as well. So yeah, so they have some very nice things to offer there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful kits. Yeah. So I've been following them and for quite a bit, and I've mentioned them quite a few times on my channel, and I even have a link for them in my description because they have affordable kits, beautiful, and their kits. Most of their kits, a lot of their kits are full limbs. So yeah, so that's a thing with them. They have their kits are full limb. Now I like full limbs, and I also like 3/4 limbs. 3/4 limbs I find are very posable. But when but if you want the baby to wear a certain type of clothing, the full limbs may fare better for you. But if you're dressing the baby, in certain things, you won't even know the difference. Um, you know, but yeah, but most, a lot of people really do like the full limbs for that because they're not restricted in, some of the clothing that the baby can wear. But yeah, but they have some great, really, really great prices. So, and even when they have their full, even if something is full price, it's not like crazy. And you do have McPherson's and Irresistibles. They have great kits as well. Um, I find that they are just a tad bit more pricey, but they have beautiful kits by well-known artists and some lesser-known artists. Um, some of the vendors have the same kits, and so you kind of have to shop around to see where you maybe can get um, the most bang for your buck. Um, and then you take into consideration um, shipping, free shipping, and handling at what price point. Where is it coming from? And those are things that you take into consideration. And some places you may just want to get, you might just only get the kit, but then other places you may want to get multiple things. Um, so yeah, so it's something where you kind of look and you check and you see, and it's kind of like in your regular life, you shop around for a bargain. You know, you shop around because wherever you can get a deal, quality products at a good deal, it's nice. It's really, really, really very nice, to be able to do that. It's really great. making sure there's no pulling anywhere. And I want to go with, let me see what is this message. Okay. And I want to go over, paint her torso as well. You know, paint her torso. And, because I want, ooh, I want to get flagged. I want to have her, you know, her body color uniform. So since I went over her limbs with this color, I'm going over her torso because I want that uniformity. You know, I want that uniformity. And the detailing on the torso, I will do as well. Not on this layer, but I will, because you do want to have that bit of realism added in certain strategic ways onto the kit. So yeah, it's very I find it very relaxing painting. I can get lost in just painting. I can get lost in rooting. Well, anything when it comes to reborning, really any aspect of it, I can get lost in just, you know, just be overtaken by by it. You know. So yeah, I really do have enjoy this hobby and have fun. The creativity, just seeing, taking a blank kit and then bringing it to life, and you know, I think that's a lot of fun. And you know, you can look at the kit reborn by someone else, the same exact kit, and you can do the kit, and your vision of the kit may be, you know, different from theirs, and it's still a beautiful kit, you know, because you know, you yourself can even paint the same kit more than once, and it won't come out the exact same way, you know, because it depends on how you've mixed the paint, the pressure that you're using on the brush, the sponges, um, you know, what you're thinking about at the, you know, any number of things can go into play with it, you know, when you're reborn in a kit. So yeah, so I find that it is so enjoyable. I really, really do enjoy. I really do enjoy that. I mean, I have different hobbies, different things that I do. Um, I think I find that reborning on some levels brings me, I don't know if I want to say a greater bit of joy, or I don't know if I want to say that, but it's something about really seeing the kit. Like when I sew, when I create, because I will design and create patterns, and you know, create designs, and sew, you know, what have you. And that's beautiful. And you know, I do, you know, sew for other people as well. and I see their joy and their appreciation and so on and so forth. And I can get lost in sewing too. But it's something about the dolls that um, I don't know. It's like it's different. It's different. Um, and I haven't been sewing in a few years. I grew up sewing, and that was something that my dad, my paternal side of the family did, and, we all did, and so on and so forth like that. And then when my parents transitioned, I don't know, it's just like um, I lost my muse, so to speak, to sew. So yeah, so I haven't made anything since then, and I even still have works in progress that I've not completed. I have tons of material and things like that, and so my sewing room is just kind of just like there. um but it's so funny how that happened with me. Can anyone else identify with something like that, or is it only me? you know like when I was a little girl, um my daddy could do like everything. The only thing my dad couldn't do was cook. Okay. And believe it or not, at 80 years old, my mother had a stroke. Okay. And my dad learned to cook. Okay. My daddy learned to cook. Yeah. So growing up, my dad, he knew how to sew. He even knew how to what is it, with the knit. All of the siblings, all of his sisters, they all knew how to sew. Um, his mother, she knew how to sew. She made like everything, as many did back then. But it was something that really was passed on. And I remember we were visiting one of my daddy's sisters, and she would sew, and her name was Carol Ann, and she would sew, and she was sewing, making something. And I looked, I said, "Oh, I can do that." And she said, "Oh, you think you can do this?" I said, "Yeah." So what happened was, she says, "Okay, so I'll show you how to sew." So what happened is I spent the night at her house. We were visiting, she was out of town. Um, we were visiting out of town in South Carolina. And so she took me to the fabric store the next day. And I picked out the fabrics that I wanted, everything that I wanted, and went back to her house. I began to sew, and everything just really came together for me. It just was like, oh, I love this. And then so I continued making clothes and different things like that, and in my teen years as well, and so on and so forth. So I really, really enjoyed sewing. And my parents, of course, they had given me my first sewing machine and this and that, and I still have that sewing machine, and I still use that sewing machine. So it's so many memories attached to me sewing. Carol Ann, she transitioned some years back, and so it's like when I think about the sewing, it brings me joy to think about it. But when I think about, I was in the middle of making certain different things, and, then my parents became extremely ill, and I moved in with them to care for them and things like that. So when I returned to my home after they transitioned, um, I didn't want to, to sew and to deal with those things, because I even had people were even saying to me, "Oh, are you going to sew? Are you going to do this? Are you going to make this, that, and the other?" When my parents were very ill, and I said to them, I said, "No, I can't even tell you." I said, "Because I can't sew now, and the only time that I would be able to foresee myself sewing is once they're no longer physically here, and I don't want to think about that." So for me, I guess that's one of the reasons for me that, for sewing. And of course, I do definitely understand life and death, and life, death is a circle of life. I understand that. But, like I said, for me, sewing now is a little bit, it's different. I mean, I even, when my children were little, um, I made some of their clothes. I would make their suits that they would, go to church with. I would make them, three-piece suits with a bow tie, and I would make it with pants and shorts, so that it would be something that they could wear pretty much year round. So in the summer they could wear the vest, the shorts, and the bow tie, and then in the winter they could wear all of it, but instead of the shorts, with the pants. Yeah, and I just, would get a shirt, for them. And so I love doing that. And I even, as much earlier than that, as a teen, I made, you were preteen, I made some of my dolls' clothes. You remember I talked about my baby Chrissy, I made her clothes. Um, and so it was just, so there are a lot of different memories, fond memories attached, to sewing, and then beautiful memories that I have when I started collecting reborns, and showing them to my parents and them laughing about it and holding them and different things. And so I find actually reborning to be that aspect that of my creativity that I lean into. I do make, press on nails. I do some custom orders, and I do some orders that I just create different designs. And um, I enjoy, making my organic lip gloss and eyeshadows, and, or cuticle oils, and, different things like that that I do enjoy doing. And I still do those things. Um, but yes, so I think that will conclude today's video with our baby Maggie. I want to have her dry, um, and I will come back with another video, and we will go over some more of her coloring, her skin layers, and just chit-chatting some more. And please do take a look at and like the playlist that we have, our videos. Take a look at the shorts and like those. And take a look at our community post and make some comments there. And look in the description, and you'll see little tidbits of information. If you're not certain how to get into the description box, when you're looking at the video and you see just below, kind of like the title, and there's a button, there's an area where it says more. If you push that, you will see a drop down, and there's a lot of different information there that could be very helpful to you. I've included some links to some of the websites that I mentioned, and to other items that I use that you might like to use, or at least have a price point, or it can be considered a resource. um, so once again, thank you so very much for being here in this space with me, my happy place. Thank you so much for your warm welcome to me, the wonderful comments, and just the beauty of you sharing your beauty with me. Thank you so very much. I continue to wish you peace and blessings and that you would enjoy your day. Please do come back again real soon. Peace and blessings. Serious.